New comic book day is right around the corner. What are you picking up? Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer. Get ready to bring you my top 10 most anticipated comics of the week, and this is for March 27th. 2019. That's right, fans. I feel like this week is a little bit lighter of a comic book week. I don't have that many books that I was going to purchase, so I'm kind of excited. It gives me a chance to catch up on maybe some trades or putting away some comics and stuff like that. So, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and anytime during this video, if you want to put your top 10, top 5, top 3, top anticipated comic of the week, feel free to do that. So, without further ado, let's get started on this week's list. So, I was sitting here watching Teen Titans Go, just about to edit this video, and I just realized that I did not do a hot seat book this week. And so, this week on the hot seat has to go to Action Comics. Now, I liked the last issue a lot better than the previous issues, with them doing this Leviathan thing and Jimmy Olsen making more of an appearance. But still, I just feel like Brian Michael Bendis' story arcs are just too long. They don't make much story progression. And do I really care about Amanda Waller and stuff like that? I don't know. We'll see where this story goes. Action Comics is almost one of these books at this point for me where I pick it up based off default. But if it gets really bad, I eventually could drop it. So we'll see what happens with this issue. So now, back to the most anticipated countdown. So coming in at number 10, and you guys might laugh if you follow my channel on a regular basis, my number 10 most anticipated comic goes to Dial H for Hero issue 1. This is a new #1 issue from DC Comics. It prices at $3.99. Now, in my comic book hauls, every time I would show artwork within those pages, you would always see Dial H on there. And it was such a funny thing because I was getting so pissed off. I was like, screw Dial H, I'm not going to read your book. But I know someone who actually has already read the book and said that it is a pretty decent read. So I'm going to give it a shot here and see if it's worth continuing to read. So stay tuned on my thoughts of Dial H issue 1. Alright, so moving on to number 9. My number 9 most anticipated comic of the week, it goes to Marvel Comics Presents. This is issue 3. This title is priced at $4.99. However, it is a little bit larger than the standard comic. It has 3 separate tales if you guys haven't read it already. This one is going to have to do with the ongoing story with Wolverine that's inside. It has another story that deals with Captain America as well as it deals with the Civil Rights Movement. And then in the third story, it has to do with SpiderMan. So, almost obviously because of the Spider-Man story itself, I'm definitely going to pick this up. But I want to know out there for the readers, like, who's actually reading this? Who's paying the $5 to read this book? I just want to know out there in the comments because I'm just very curious how long a book like this can actually last. So we'll see. Alright, so moving on to my number 8 most anticipated book this week. And it goes to the Icecream Man issue 11, $3.99. The Icecream Man is a very interesting story. It had to do with a lot of one-and-done type of stories. And now they seem to be diving into the Icecream Man's history a little bit more. We find out that he has, I think, which is a brother or a cousin. And we get to see a little bit of the back history with these characters in the past couple of issues. Now, in this story, it gets back to the actual, I guess, roots of the story in the first place, as it has to do with an individual who decided to go on like a reality show. He's going to have his life taped, and then we're going to just get to see that things are not always so pleasant as he's getting his life taped. So I feel like bad things are actually going to happen to this character, and it's going to have a very sad outcome by the time we get to the end. So I'm looking forward to Icecream Man. It is definitely a weird read. For some reason, I just keep on reading it, and I'm hoping to see if there's going to be something more to the story. I heard, too, that this could be possibly maybe piloted for like a movie or a TV show or something like that too. So I'm curious to see how many people out there are reading Icecream Man. If you are, again, leave it in the comments below. Alright, so moving on to number 7. And number 7 is Heroes in Crisis issue 7. This story has been going on for obviously quite a while now, 6 months, going into like 7 months maybe. And I feel like a lot of people are disappointed with this series because we don't get very much, I guess, progression in the story. This story is very slow-paced, and people are just turned off by it. They're turned off by, like, Tom King's writing with it, as it's very poetic in certain ways, and, you know, so a lot of people are disliking it, and me, myself included. This was my least favorite pick last month because I just felt like there's just not enough story progression. And in this issue, we're going to get to see Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. They're going to have to go against the Sanctuary's AI to get to the culprit behind things. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be like they're going to be battling against the defensive system, or did the AI create the murder and you think that it's somebody else? So it looks like this issue we're going to get some action, and maybe we'll get some more answers. That's what I'm hoping for. The last issue's artwork was very poor. I'm hoping that Clay Mann is on the artwork for 100% of this issue. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Heroes in Crisis has been a little bit of a disappointment for me. It's been going steadily downhill. Hopefully it improves as we get to its conclusion. Alright, so moving on to number 6. And I couldn't rank this book any higher because I just don't know the direction of where it's going. And this is Superior Spider-Man issue 4. I like Superior. I love the first volume. This volume, we got to get to see, obviously, Doc Ock as, you know, he's in the younger form, and he fought Terrax in the last issue. We know that Anna Marie Marconi is going to be like his sidekick and look after him. No physical relationship yet. But that's all we know right now. And it looks like now, in this issue, they're still dealing with the aftermath with Terrax. So, what happens in this issue, and what is the direction of this book? It's kind of killing me, because they're not really giving you anything here. So, curious to see. I like the dialogue obviously from Doc Ock. Christos Gage is the writer of the series. And so, it is a Spider book. I keep reading it, and we're going to see where it goes. Alright, so now entering the top 5. And my number 5 most anticipated comic of the week goes to Transformers issue 2. I liked issue 1. Issue 1 takes you to the point of where this was before the war actually happened. Before the Decepticons actually existed, right? We're just dealing with, like, civil rights movements and protests and all kinds of things that are kind of going on in Cybertron. We get to see a new a robot that was forged by the name of Rubble, and we get to see things unfold through his eyes. And it looks like this book is going to deal with Prowl and another Autobot by the name of Chromia. They're the Cybertronian police, which is cool because that's what Prowl was. So you actually get to see him do his job on Cybertron, and they have to do an investigation, a murder, and it kind of ties into Bumblebee. So I'm very curious to see what happens in that issue. I felt that the problem with Transformers in the past, with the previous series, is that you had to know so much about the history of the Transformers, what was going on in this series before, and this was very much a new jumping on point for readers, and so I find that it wasn't too wordy or dialogue heavy or boring to read, and so this makes you want to read the next issue, so I'm very much looking forward to issue 2. Alright, so moving on to number 4, and my number 4 most anticipated comic this week goes to Batman Beyond issue 30. This is the aftermath of the Joker who died of a heart attack, and really puts a strain, I think, on the brothers, right? On Terry and Matt McGinnis. And there's going to be a decision made to see, do we need a Robin? And is Batman going to fly solo on his own once again? I think that's the question that the readers are looking for here. And hopefully we'll get the answer by the time we get to the end of this issue. I think Batman Beyond is a great read. I like how it kind of ties into the DC universe a bit. You know, it doesn't rely on its animated series so much. I mean, it has both things in it, but it kind of progresses things a little bit. It's tied to DC, and that's what I like about it. All right, so moving in to my top 3 most anticipated comics. And maybe some of you might not agree with this one, but my number 3 is Detective Comics issue 1000. It's a milestone issue. It's like one of those books you must have in your collection. The thing that I'm hesitant about is that, is it going to be like Action Comics 1000? I wasn't too fond of that issue. Had a bunch of mini stories. I found myself not caring about it, and I had to spend $10 on it, and I just didn't get anything out of it. Now, based off of the description, it seems like we will be getting a story here that kind of pushes Detective Comics forward, which, if that's the truth, then I'm very much looking forward to it. But I think there's going to be other stories in there. Again, it's a $10 price tag, which is very pricey, and it puts a dent in your budget for the week. And maybe that's why there wasn't that many comics that were really released that tickled my fancy, at least, anyway. So we'll see what happens with Detective Comics issue 1000. Nevertheless, it's a great book to have in your collection and to celebrate Batman himself. Alright, so moving on to number 2. And my number 2 most anticipated comic of the week, it goes to Amazing Spider-Man issue 18. The Hunted storyline really kicks off in this issue. So again, it's $3.99, just like all the other Marvel comic books. This is otherwise known as Hunted Part 2. And all the prey is let loose in Central Park. And the hunt begins, but the thing is Kraven's not doing the hunting here, okay? He is the one that, there's someone else doing the hunting. There's a hunter out there. Who is it? And I'm very curious to see who it's going to be. Crazy conclusion to the last issue as we get to see Batman. He was released, or Batman, Spider-Man was released in the wild in Central Park, and he was wearing that black costume and stuff like that. So, and all these Kraven robots were after everybody. So, it's going to be a cool story, I think. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be lengthy, so be prepared for it. All right, so now, my number 1 most anticipated comics of the week goes to Avengers No Road Home. This is issue 7, $3.99 price point book. I think this is a way, guys, to actually do a weekly series. You know, it's consistent. The art is consistent. The storytelling is so well done, and it makes you look forward to this story each and every week. And this time around, we get to see Spectrum, who takes hold of the battle against Nyx, who is the Queen of Night, okay? And then, so we get to see that aspect of the story. And then, I guess what we're going to find out in here as well is whose side is Conan on? Now, is he going to be on the good guy's side, the bad guy's side? Is Conan going to be possessed? Is he going to join the Avengers forever? Is he going to be part of the Marvel Universe forever? I don't know. Time will tell. Obviously, this story is just geared for, obviously, Conan to be part of the Marvel Universe. And so just like how Voyager, that's the last story was for Voyager to be part of the Marvel Universe here. So every time they do these weekly events, we get a brand new character in the story. So I'm curious to see how the story continues. I'm loving No Road Home. I love Jim Zub and Mark Waid on these books. They've done a great job, man. Great team up. So then that was my number 1 book of the week. Hold on, no go. I forgot something again. I forgot to mention another book. I don't know how I missed it, but Shazam also comes out this week. Let's just throw this in there as an honorable mention. I'm really digging Jeff Johns' run here on Shazam, how all the kids have gone to these different worlds and they have to interact in these different worlds, and they've all been separated, and now they're going to have to find each other once again. Great artwork, great story. I can't wait for every single one of these issues. Would have been high up there on the list. I just didn't want to leave it out. So, thanks guys. We're going to conclude the countdown. So there you guys have it. There are my top 10 most anticipated comics of the week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, put it in the comments below on what your most anticipated comics of the week are. And fans, as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to that channel, and don't forget to hit that all-important notification button so you don't miss a single video from me. And until that next comic book review, fans, this is Mike Spider Slayer saying thanks for watching. I'll see you guys real soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.